So in this video, I just want to experiment more with this air marker, Crayola air marker sprayer. I've used it in a couple of videos, and I kind of did a review video with it. I'll put the link right there. And I just want to play with it some more and play with some of Jane Davenport's face stencils. So she's got this one. And then she has the one from her Making Faces collection that is just brand new. So I don't know if you can see this one here. Let me just put it on here. You can see it a little better on the light one. Over here. And so it's got 3 different sets of eyes, 2 different lips, different noses, and then eyebrows. And then along with this same stencil, they come all together, you don't have to buy them separately, is hair that can go different lengths. So you can just do short hair like that. You can do like, you know, that. There's lots of different options. And then she's got the neck. You can kind of put it off to the side, and then a flower for her hair and some jewelry if you want. So this comes all together in one package, and that's her Making Faces collection. I don't know, I think these ones are from her Artemology collection. So she's got this one as well, from her Artemology collection right there. And then this one and this one. I think these all came, I think these are the Good Face stencils. I think that's what they're called. The Good Face stencils. And then she's got some other ones that are like Flower Girl stencils. So I want to try this one. And I want to play with my airbrush thing because it seems like so much fun. So I just want to put a little bit of a subtle background in here. Let's do that. So I've got my markers I made. I still have to make more, especially the skin tones. These are the markers I made with the Crayola marker maker, and that video is right there. Put the link right there. And since I've gotten this, I've actually used these more. Just FYI. And I just want to do a little subtle background. And you know what I also did? I went through my kids' stuff, because why not? And I saw the Pipsqueaks. Now these aren't going to be really dye-based. They're for children, and they're washable. So, you know, they're not going to be as light fast, permanent, UV resistant. They're not going to really be anything like that. So best to just keep them into your art journals, or use markers like this, more permanent markers. But I want to try this just because. Why not? I'm just fooling around. I just want to have a little bit of fun. So that's what we're doing. These are the markers that are meant to go in here. And I just want to see how this works. And I just want a subtle background. These are old markers too, so who knows, you know, how much ink is actually in here. That is a question. That's questionable. So you got to just put these right in there and hold them in there. This one works a little better. Hold them in there while you tighten it, and you want to make sure you tighten it really good. I'm hoping you can hear me over the little compressor thing. Let's look at that. Oh, isn't that just nice? Pretty. Hopefully you can see that. I'll just zoom in a little bit there. So if you want to try different round markers, you can. But I think not only does it have to be a round barrel, it has to be a tip like this. Like this. Wide tip that just goes to a point. Not really a bullet tip, definitely not a chisel tip, and a brush tip doesn't work either. So that's my experience. But let's try this. So I just kind of wanted to try this with my stencil. I'm just going to let that dry for a bit because the ink, as you know, or maybe you don't know, it is a little bit movable for a little bit, but once it's dry, it's permanent. But you can see that it moves a little bit. So that can be helpful sometimes. So if you want, you know, fade some of this out, maybe fade some of the eyes out. So that you can, this one. I just want to lift up some of that brown. And maybe just clear some of the nose away. And maybe just a bit of the lips. I'm just softening a little bit, that's all. And then let's add some eyebrows. I think we'll add those ones. No, let's add those ones. And we'll just do those in, let's try the tinsel. I want to see what this looks like. Or no, you know what? I'm going to be shading with this one. So, okay, we're going to use one of these. Now these are not water soluble, so this might be a time when you want to use them. So I'm just going to, you know, and it might not hurt to kind of use this as a guide, as Jane kind of shows sometimes. To me that's a little bit harsh, but maybe I can kind of soften it a little bit. Yeah, it's too harsh to use that. I know Jane shows how you can use a straight edge to contour and stuff on the face, but I don't know, it's just a little bit harsh for me. I don't like the look of it. Okay, but I'm loving the look of this, I gotta say. So let's do the neck. I'm really hoping you can hear me. If you can't hear me, then I will probably just time-lapse this and narrate it. Like, seriously, how fun is that? That's like the best thing ever. One thing you can do is maybe just use, if you want to shade, oh, that can be dangerous. I'm going to use that one. Just put it right here. I do find that it helps to hold this down and then do that. For some reason that just seems to be better to do it that way. sprayed, and I'm just going to blend this out a little bit. So that's the good thing about using water-soluble inks with this, is that you can kind of move them around a little bit and blend them out more. Unfortunately, I used the gray on here, although it is lightening a little bit. Okay, so now I am going to put my lids back on here. I don't want to leave them off. And I mean, I could just kind of go in and just, okay, I can't, let's put this one here. I can just kind of bring this back in. Some of these colors are so subtle that they aren't as noticeable. That's still a little bit wet, but I'm going to use my paint pen here. And if you wanted to, you could go back in and, you know, set these up again and then put the eyeballs in. But sometimes it's nice to use the stencils as just a little base, and then you kind of make it your own by putting in your own colors. So that's kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Just rework the eyes, and then they're more my own. And I'm going to use my Sharpie here. So the other thing I have is these drama sticks. Just to reinforce some of the... So these drama sticks are not for coloring with. They're for detail work. That's still a little bit wet, so I have to wait. And the other things I have are these palettes, pastel palettes. So these pastel palettes are amazing. I have only used them a little bit, but every time I use them, I'm like, they work on anything. Like, I have to do some swatches with them, just on all the various things that they can be used on. They are just so awesome. And then they have this like perfect little shadow color here. I love this color right here. This is the Skin Tones, or Birthday Suit, sorry. It's Skin Tones, but it's Birthday Suit. That's what it's called. And this is also a good one to just add in a little bit of shadow there. And then, these are really easy to clean and reuse. You don't need to water them down necessarily every time you want to switch colors. They pick up new color really nicely. Oh, look at them. They're amazing. I'm obsessed with them. Let's put a little bit of coral in her. I feel like her lips need to be a bit bigger. Just a little bit. And I think I'm just going to put some in her eyebrows here. I was actually able to take away quite a bit of that. Oh, love them. So there's also this mineral palette. So we could do some of this in her eyes. And maybe put some yellow in there. Oof. Oh yeah, that's amazing. Okay. Let's see. There's the warm skin tones. So we could also, I think I've shown it before, but these fit amazingly together. It almost feels like they're magnetic, but I don't think they are. But they fit, like they're not clumsy. They're just perfect. They just line up and stay there, and they're just, I love them. So I'm going to leave that one a little bit lighter, but I might add just a little bit of warmth around here, just to give her some more color. Oh, I love these. These palette pastels. I would say, so I've done my review of the gelatos with the color sticks, and the color sticks are amazing, and I'm probably going to get them out right away. But the palette, if you already have gelatos, and you know you have to pick and choose which you're going to get, you can't just get it all. I would say get these, if you have to choose, before you get the color sticks. If you already have the gelatos, get these before you get the color sticks. But the color sticks I have, they are different than gelatos in some ways, and they're the same in some ways. So I do have that video. I would encourage you to check it out so that you know what the differences are. And just, oh, that's a little bit too blue. That's okay, we'll work with it. And these you can actually erase. But they're just, oh, they're so amazing. Okay, is this ready to, it's still wet, that thing. I just love how that softens out here. I feel like I need to just, I think I did that when it was wet, so it's kind of stuck on there a little bit. Maybe while I'm waiting for the eyes to dry a little bit more, because I have to do the details. I'll show you the hair stencil. So you can do it that way, you can do it this way. Let's see, let's do this. So I'm going to just, let's do the palette pastels first. And what color of hair should we give her? Let's give her some purpley hair. Obviously, you know, I could use the air thing for this, but I just want to see how the pastels work. Actually, I'm just going to dig into some of the blue, some of the purple, and just kind of work with whatever. These palette pastels are seriously addicting. Now, I don't have the patent pastels, but I've heard that they are very much like the pan pastels, but better because they're just so easy. They're so convenient to work with because they stack better, whereas the pan pastels, you have to have like a big thing out. That's what I have heard from different people in Jane Davenport's group and different people on YouTube. Okay, obviously I need to add some more hair down here. Forgot about this. Let's keep this one. I'll just do that, and maybe this one here. Yep, I like that. Kind of looks like a vintage haircut, actually, or hairstyle. So, you know, I could do that with the airbrushing and then move them around. So let's try that. Now that I know exactly which ones I want filled in. Very delicious. Oh, that smells good. Many people are asking because these are scented inks. And so, I mean, some people have concerns about them just being scented. But then when they spray, they're wondering, you know, is it crazy? I am a person who loves scents. I get the melters, I have candles everywhere, I have essential oils everywhere, which I know usually if people have essential oils, they're no with the candles, but I can't resist scents. Like, scents just make me feel happy. So, obviously I don't think they're too strong, but I have heard from a lot of people on the group that have scent allergies and generally can't handle like any perfume or anything with, you know, any candles, nothing, they can't handle it. They say that they actually can handle these because it is very, very light scent. To smell them, you have to go right up. Some of them are a little bit stronger. You have to go, like, I can't smell it right like this. I have to really put it right up to my nose, and even then I can barely smell it. I would say hot cocoa is the strongest. And so when you spray it, there is a little bit more that you can smell, but it's not like perfume at all. And I lost my lid here. There it is. It's not like perfume or anything like that. It's actually totally fine from what I hear from other people. I'm just going to use this brush and just kind of, so I'm going to bring that down like that. The other thing you can use is some good old mermaid markers. Who doesn't like to use? And you can just use this as a guide. Now I kind of, when I'm actually developing a class for painting hair. I've had people ask me how to paint hair. I know Jane has, you know, different ways that she paints hair. And in many ways, they're very similar to the same techniques I use. You know, like when she says start with a part and keep going. That's very similar to, you know, what I do. But I want to develop a class, and don't stop. There you go. I want to develop a class that is just how to paint different hairstyles and also just how to look at a hairstyle and kind of copy it, and just some tips. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on YouTube, but I need to do some more with my Skillshare classes. So I'm gonna try to have like quite an instructional, longer type class for that. That is going to be on Skillshare. So for those of you who don't know, Skillshare is, I've completely changed the color of her hair. That's okay. I'm loving it. So those were Spectrum Noir water, like they're sparkle markers, but they're water soluble. They're like watercolor markers, which they're basically like mermaid markers, except they're Spectrum Noir. She kind of got overpowered a little bit, didn't she? Her hair is overpowering her face. All right. Once I have the detail, it'll be better. So let's take some of this, and I'm going to use her eyelid back in. I'm going to close her mouth. Yeah, much better with that closed. So as you can see, I brought up her chin a little bit with my License to Quill pen, and now I'm just kind of fixing that line with some acrylic paint and just kind of redrawing that whole chin area. Forgive me. So I'm hoping that by putting some of this white marker in, I can kind of tame this hair a little bit. And I think it's working. Just, this looks too crayon-y. This eyelid looks too scratchy. I don't like it. So for those of you who are wondering what this is, it is a whiteout pen. Works really good. It's hard to control, so only use it when you are okay with not having a lot of control and possibly having big blobs of white paint coming out. There. And then we can just kind of go over those. Smooth them out a little bit. With her nose, with the shading on her nose. So I just want to bring that around a little bit, and then I'm going to put just a little bit. Oh, and I've got some blue on here because I didn't clean it off. That's okay. And I'll just kind of go over. So you can see how I had to adjust the shape of her face many times actually. And I want to put a little bit of green, I want to shade her eye a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Just put that eye, the shadow from her eyelid in there. Oh, this works good. And then add a little bit more green on top here, on the bottom. And then back to the white. You really got to be careful with this. I don't even know why I'm using it on my eye. That is not a good place to use it. It's a very dangerous place to use it. I'm still not happy with her nose. I don't like it. Maybe a little bit of purpley tone there. Oh yeah, I like the tone better. And let's do a little bit of shading down there. A bit darker here. And I think I'll just see if I can buff that out a little bit more. And I think that's all I'm really going to do with her. Maybe just fix this neck a little bit. So, I mean, you could take the stencils here. We could put a flower in her hair right there with some paint if we wanted. Use my sponge. So I could add some glue in here. Just get this out. There we go. The stopper is not working as well as it should be. I think she needs some pink to soften her up a little bit, to just balance out the blue, I feel like. I don't know. We could just bring back this neck a little bit if we wanted, and just go in there with some black or some purple even. Just bring that back. Kind of bugs me because it's not really, it doesn't look like it's hair. It looks like I drew a weird shadow there. So I'm just going to do this and just kind of cover that up a little bit. Alright, so that is a way you can use the Crayola airbrush or marker sprayer, Jane Davenport stencils, and Jane Davenport inks, and then her palette pastels we used in there. So I just wanted to show you how even if you're using the stencils, you can still make it your own, and you don't have to worry, you know, if you're super paranoid about, well, you really want to learn how to draw, you don't want to, you know, use a stencil or use a guide. You can just use this, and then you still end up having to change things. Like I actually changed her face quite a bit. I made it a lot more square. And then the eyes are quite a bit different too. And even the lips, I changed because they were open. Her lips were open and I closed them. Those were the lips I used, and then that's the lips there. So I hope you got something out of that video. And I think I managed to, you know, fix some of the things that were kind of going a little bit haywire in here. I still got this crayon look in there, which I don't love. I think it's okay. So definitely check out those other videos where I have this and where I do the markers and with the incredible ink. So it's, the markers were made from Jane Davenport's inks, in case you're not, in case I wasn't clear on that. Anyways, I will see you later. Bye.